Sorcerers gain their flavor, their style of magic from different sources, different themes, from storms to shadows to dragons to just the chaos of magic to whatever else. In this homebrew subclass, delves into a different kind of magic. Hello, welcome back, or welcome to DIS. I am Dissidia, and you're hearing me speak again, or for the first time. Whichever it is, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am glad to see you here. And today we are going to go through the review of a homebrew sorcerer subclass. This one is called the Ghost Touched. So that should be pretty interesting. So let's get into it. Sorcerer Ghost Touched. Sorceress Origin. At first level, the sorcerer gains the Sorceress Origin feature. The following option is available to a sorcerer in addition to those offered in the player's handbook. Ghost Touched. You draw your power from the ethereal plane and the spirits that wander it. Perhaps your powers manifested after a near-death experience, or even after you died and were brought back to life. Alternatively, your magic might come from an ancestor who became a ghost, or who was rewarded for helping a lost soul to the afterlife. Ghost-touched sorcerers are often unsettling to others, and the magic that pervades you might produce unusual effects on your body or behavior. At your option, you can pick from or roll on the Ghost-touched sorcerer quirks table to create a quirk for your character. Ghost-touched sorcerer quirks. It's a d6 in the quirk. On a 1, you don't cast a shadow. 2, if your mind wanders, objects you are holding often fall through your hands. 3, cats are hostile towards you. 4, you sometimes have trouble passing through doors or crossing thresholds. 5, food and drink have no taste to you. And 6, you will occasionally hear faint whispers from the souls of the recently deceased. Ghost Touch features. Sorcerer level and feature. First level, you get bonus proficiencies in Phantom Form. 6th level, you get Ethereal Strike and Fade. 14th level, you have Possess. And 18th level, you have Incorporeal Form. Bonus proficiencies. At first level, you gain proficiency with Simple and Martial Weapons. Phantom Form. Beginning at first level, you can partially fade into the ethereal plane, becoming harder to hit. As an action, you can assume a ghostly, translucent appearance. While in this form, you gain a base AC of 13 plus your Charisma modifier if you aren't wearing armor, and you have advantage on checks made to escape a grapple or other non-magical restraint. Additionally, if you make a melee attack against a creature, that creature can't make opportunity attacks against you for the rest of your turn. These benefits last until you end it as a bonus action, you are incapacitated, or you don armor. Interesting. Long time. That's interesting. Ethereal Strike. At 6th level, you gain the ability to infuse your weapon attacks with otherworldly energy. Once on each of your turns, when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can cause the attack to deal an extra 1d10 force damage to the target. This extra damage increases to 2d10 at 11th level and 3d10 at 17th level. Fade. Beginning at 6th level, you are able to disappear deeper into the ethereal plane to protect yourself. As a reaction, when you take damage, you can spend 2 sorcery points to vanish into the ethereal plane until the start of your next turn. You reappear in an unoccupied space of your choice within 30 feet of where you vanished, and you have advantage on the next weapon attack you make on that turn. Cool. Very interesting. Possess. At 14th level, you learn the Dominate Person spell if you do not know it already. It does not count against this number of sorcerer spells you know, and you can cast it once without expending a spell slot. When you do so, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest. When a creature you target with Dominate Person fails its saving throw, you can choose to possess the target for the duration. While you possess a creature, you disappear and cannot be targeted by any attack, spell, or other effect. You cannot perform any action except to exert total control over the target. When the spell ends, you reappear in an unoccupied space of your choice within 5 feet of the target. You can also be forced out early by means of the Dispel Good and Evil spell or a similar effect targeting the possessed creature. Very interesting. Sorry, excuse me. Finally, incorporeal form. Beginning at an 18th level, your phantom form becomes even harder to pin down. While in your phantom form, you gain the following benefits. You can move through creatures and objects as though they were difficult terrain. You take 1d10 force damage if you end your turn inside an object. You gain a flying speed equal to your walking speed and can hover. And you have a resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-magical weapons. Very, very interesting. And on to the review itself. So the Ghost Touch Sorcerer. Very interesting. I like the different flavors of this that you can do. Where it could be near-death experience, or you died and were brought back, or it could be an ancestor who was a ghost or was rewarded. Something like that. That's pretty cool. It's interesting how they have you have proficiency with simple martial weapons. I wouldn't think that would be something for a ghost, even though this is very much I can see it's through the features. You can tell that it's more of a melee kind of combat sorcerer, which is interesting. I would think it should be like a spell, like a melee spell attack of like a touch or whatever for that. Maybe you can drain it or deal like necrotic damage. I don't know. Phantom form is nice. I think there should be like a resource to do with it, and it should have a time limit. Because it's just an action, and then you have that, and you can just always have it on, basically, until you're like sleeping or whatever. But yeah, 13 plus charisma, I think, which is pretty nice. Like a better version of of mage armor. Ethereal Strike is pretty interesting. A D10 of force damage on top of an attack is pretty powerful, although you don't have multiple attacks, so this is just a one-hit bam thing. Depending on the weapon, it could be your dexterity or strength, which I don't know how well you would be with those. Fade is pretty cool. I think it would be interesting is with that reaction, maybe you just take half damage as you're fading away. It's just saying when you take damage, so it could be like, because you're like, okay, until this or my next turn, I'm vanished, but I can't really, it's like, it doesn't mitigate that damage, if you know what I mean. Possess is pretty nice with the Dominate Person spell. Can be very, very helpful. And then Incorporeal Form is pretty nice. Moving through different creatures and objects is pretty nice. Flying is okay. And always on flying, not too powerful. I mean, you can have the fly spell at 5th level, so here, always on flying equal to your walking speed is okay. It could be better. Resistance is also okay. I think there should be, if you to change it a little bit, have the phantom form have a resource. Maybe it's like a sorcery point, and it'll last for like maybe a minute or something. And when you do that, then you can up the flight and more resistances. I think that would be fine. So it seems a little better. It's interesting with those weapon things. Besides those changes, I think that's pretty good. I'd love to see it in play to see how it is. Overall, at the lower levels, it does seem a bit overpowered. A bit. At higher levels, it kind of teeters off. I would say the Phantom form is overpowered a little bit because there is no um, resource management there, or time management there, or whatever. It's basically always on, which is fine. If it's basically a discount or another version of Mage Armor, that's fine. Let's see here. Uh, yeah. And then some other ones are kind of seems a little underpowered for the level. Like Fade is okay. Um, and Incorporeal Form is okay. I think it should be better at those higher levels. Um, the Phantom Strike is pretty nice. Um, although, I think for that, you should add on to that, like, Charisma. Is there the modifier for the attacks at the 6th level? So it's like, because you don't want to be too uh, dependent on a lot of different things. But that's that. Anything else? Not that I can think of. Um, Next video, we are going into lore crafting around this, which should be interesting. Still working on getting a job, getting a car, all that fun stuff. Being busy, doing some writing. Hopefully, I'm kind of chilling for now, which is fine. Of course, I'm still planning on creating some adventures and stuff for my professional dungeon mastering career or whatever. Not a career, but like another avenue of whatever. I'm still streaming Dragon Fable on Wednesdays, and I'm finishing up Inmost on Friday. Let's see here, and then we'll go on to Lego games, which should be fun, and then from there, other fun games. Anything else? Keep in your mind my sister's D&D inspired bar idea whenever that comes out. That'll probably be a while. Anything else? Not that I can think of. I'll see you guys in the next video. Comment below your thoughts on the Ghost Touched Sorcerer. Previous episode, channel subscription, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you want to help support me in any way or talk, email me, comment below, join my Discord server, all that fun stuff. And I will see you guys in the next video as we lorecraft around this Ghost Touch Sorcerer, which should be pretty interesting. This idiot, out.